Grand Rising, guys. Good morning. It's breakfast. Welcome back to another episode. Hi, guys. Hi. Good morning, Grand Rising. Guys, I am so apologetic for yesterday. I had guests to come in that I didn't know were coming, so I had a full day. As a matter of fact, a few of them are still in the house. So I wanted to get this done already so that I could move on to the next thing. But listen, this is what I'm about to show you guys. It's about Route 66, okay? But the thing of it is, it's going to show you the dangers of not having reasonable, good car to drive down the lane. Good morning, Fairness. I'm sorry, Farissa. Good morning. Please hit the subscribe as you guys come in. But this is about Route 66, guys. But the main reason I want to show you guys this because it will adhere to survival skills and things that you need to know. Now, I myself have never been on Route 66, but my niece have. She lived in Las Vegas for 3 years, and I didn't like it at all. But she was with a family member that was in the military, so that made it a little bit easier. But anyway, I'm not going to chitter chatter early this morning. I'm going to begin, okay? It's called Why This Stretch of Route 66 is More Dangerous Than Any Other Highway in All of America. Okay? Please subscribe as you come in. All in Equine Lifestyle. Let's begin. Sorry.
Car stopped on a dirt road in the Mojave Desert off the old highway system that Route 66
Take note, guys, because this is very interesting and educational.
once ruled. Two people were inside. Within hours, both of them were dead. Not from a crash, not from anyone who meant them harm. They died because the car stopped moving and the desert around it did not care. They were an elderly couple, married more than 60 years. They had run out of gas on an empty road east of California City, roughly 20 miles from their own front door.
Wow.
They had no water with them. They did the one thing nearly every survival expert will tell you to do. They stayed with the vehicle.
I'm just having my
and
coffee,
it still
guys.
was not enough. Hold that couple in your mind. We will come back to them, because their story is the quiet center of a much larger truth about this landscape, and the forgotten stretches of Route 66 are where that truth shows its teeth. You know Route 66 as a postcard. Neon signs, chrome bumpers, the main street of America. 2,448 miles from Chicago to the Santa Monica Pier. That is the version on the coffee mugs. The real road out in the eastern Mojave is something
Guys, you see how the roads are cracked? It's like that when it gets hot. Let's continue.
else now. It is one of the most efficient killing grounds in the American Southwest, and almost nobody thinks of it that way. There is a stretch of the old road between Ludlow and Needles in California that runs roughly 75 miles across open desert. On that stretch, the settlements are mostly gone. Baghdad, Siberia, Klondike, names on a map with nothing underneath them.
Oh, my.
No gas, no water, no shade you would trust. The one town still breathing along that run is Amboy, and Amboy has a population of about 4 people. To understand how this happened, you have to understand what this road used to be and why it was ever built through country this hostile in the first place. Amboy did not start as a...
Now, this is what I didn't know, so hang in here so you guys could get this, okay? Because you're going to be surprised. Let's continue.
Highway town. It started as a railroad siding. In the 1880s, the Atlantic and Pacific Railroad laid track straight across the Mojave, and it needed stations spaced out along the line. So it named them in alphabetical order, marching east across the desert: Amboy, Bristol, Cadiz, Danby, Essex, Fenner, Goffs, a neat little alphabet of outposts, each one a speck of human effort, surrounded by hundreds of square miles of nothing. People lived there because the railroad paid them to. That was the only reason anyone lived there at all. Then came the automobile and the National Old Trails Road, and finally, in 1926, the federal government stitched a line of pavement across the country and called it U.S. Highway 66. It followed the railroad through the Mojave, right past those alphabet towns. And for a few decades, this was one of the most important roads in America. During the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression, families who had lost everything drove west on this exact stretch, chasing California, their possessions strapped to the roof, their radiators boiling in the desert heat. During the Second World War, this desert became something even harsher. In 1942, General George Patton chose this exact country to build the Desert Training Center, 18,000 square miles of it, the largest military training ground the world had ever seen. He picked the Mojave on purpose. He wanted the worst ground he could find on American soil, a place he believed could kill a man faster than any enemy, so that it would harden the soldiers who could be hardened before a real war did worse. More than 1 million men trained out here. Roughly 1,000 of them died in training, many from the heat and the lack of water alone. And that was with the whole army feeding them supplies. Remember that number when you picture yourself alone on this road. This road carried a nation across its own backyard. It mattered. And then in 1973, it stopped mattering. That is the year Interstate 40 opened nearby and pulled the traffic off Route 66. Overnight, the cars stopped coming. The gas stations closed. The cafes locked their doors. The families packed up and left. The road did not die all at once. It bled out slowly, town by town, until what remained was pavement running through a place that no longer had any reason to keep you alive. The desert had been waiting the whole time. The moment people stopped feeding this road, the desert took it back. Amboy is what that looks like up close. One business survives, a restored landmark called Roy's Motel and Cafe, its tall sign standing against the sky like a headstone for the whole era. The fuel there cost a fortune because it has to. The cafe itself shut down for years because the town could not reliably get drinkable water trucked in. Sit with that.
Good morning,
A place so
Savannah.
dry that a business failed for lack of water. The trains still run past Amboy on the BNSF line, long freight trains that shake the ground. They do not stop, not even to deliver water. There is nothing here for them. And the abandonment is not finished. It is still happening. In February of 2024, inspectors condemned a bridge on the old road just east of Amboy, a wooden trestle built in 1930, 94 years old. Its support pilings rotted through. They closed it. A whole segment of Route 66, from the edge of Amboy out to Kelbaker Road, shut to traffic because the money to fix a 94-year-old bridge in the middle of nowhere is money. And guys, I really wanted to upload this too as well because it's summertime and I know how people like to take road trips so that you could be prepared if you're going to take this route. Make sure that you have water, you have pencil or pen and paper where you can leave note if anything happens, pardon me, to where a person will know which direction that you're going if you leave your car. But you should never leave your car. You will see why. Let's continue. Nobody has. Pieces of this highway are now literally impassable. The road is not just forgotten, It is coming apart under the sun.
Wow.
Around Amboy, the land turns strange and hostile. To the west sits Amboy Crater, a 250-foot extinct volcano ringed by 24 square miles of black lava rock. That black rock does something cruel in summer. It drinks the sunlight and throws the heat back at you.
Wow.
To the southeast lies Bristol Dry Lake, a flat white salt pan that reflects the sun straight up into your face. You are cooked from above by the sky and from below by the ground. And the ground wins. On the lava fields near Amboy, by 10 in the morning, the surface temperature has been measured above 160 degrees.
Whoa.
This is the stage. Now picture yourself on it. You are driving the old National Trails Highway, the surviving alignment of Route 66. It is a beautiful drive, straight blacktop vanishing to the horizon, the Bristol dry lake bed shimmering white, not another car for miles. You have a quarter tank and a warm bottle of water in the cup holder, and none of that feels like a problem. A flat tire on a normal road is an inconvenience. You call somebody. You wait 20 minutes. Out here, the same flat tire is not an inconvenience. It is the start of a countdown, and you will not hear it begin. And the road gives you no warning which version you are driving. In the cool months, from October into April, this is one of the great drives in the country, and thousands of people make it every year without a scratch. In the summer, when the air routinely climbs past 110 degrees, the exact same road becomes a trap. The view is identical. The blacktop is identical. The empty beauty is identical. Nothing you can see tells you whether this is the safe version or the deadly one. Only the temperature knows the difference.
Jeez.
And the temperature is the one thing you stop respecting the moment the air conditioning is doing its job. Because here is what actually happens to you when your car stops on this road. The first 10 minutes feel like nothing. You are annoyed, not afraid. You pop the hood. You look at the tire. You check the phone in your hand, casually, the way you always do. And that is the first quiet shock. No bars. Cell service along this stretch is patchy at best, and often simply absent.
If
Sorry,
your hair is thinning
guys.
in the crown area, we recommend using a handheld.
Let's continue.
The people who write the travel guides for this area put it plainly. Do not count on your phone out here in an
No
emergency.
signal.
The road took your signal, along with everything else. So you tell yourself another car will come. You settle in to wait. Inside the first hour, the second thing happens. The air conditioning is already gone, killed the moment the engine stopped. The cabin becomes an oven. So you open the doors, and now you are breathing air well over 100 degrees, and the sun is finding you through the glass. You finish your water without meaning to. Half a bottle disappears in a few nervous sips. You look down the road. It is empty in both directions. It has been empty this whole time. That is when the fear arrives, and the fear costs you water too. By early afternoon, the desert stops pretending. This is the window that kills, the hours on either side of the sun's highest point, when there is no angle of shade left anywhere, and the light hits you twice, once from the sky and once bouncing back up off the ground. The car is too hot to sit inside now, and too exposed to stand beside. The blacktop softens under your shoes.
Look at that,
The air
guys.
over the road bends and
Wow.
swims. And you have been stranded at this point for only a couple of hours. Now you face the oldest decision in the desert. Do you stay or do you walk? Every instinct is screaming at you to walk, to do something, to find the next
No,
town, the
you
next car,
stay.
the next living soul. That instinct is the thing that kills more people out here than the heat itself. Staying is almost always the right call, and it feels exactly like giving up. The reason is simple physics. A car is big. A car has glass and chrome and paint that catch the light and throw it for miles. A search
Right.
helicopter can spot a stopped vehicle from the air in seconds. A single human being walking across the desert floor is a speck, and the desert is full of specks. Your car is the loudest signal you own. The moment you walk away from it, you turn yourself down to a whisper. You also throw away your only shade. And out here, shade is not comfort. Shade is time. And do not count on another car to save you. That is the cruelest change the road has been through. When Route 66 was alive, a breakdown just meant a short wait for the next traveler to come rolling by. Now the traffic is gone. On some of these stretches, a vehicle might pass once in several hours. On the segments past those condemned bridges, one might not pass for days because even the die-hard travelers who still hunt for the old road turn back at the closure signs. The friendly stranger you are picturing, the one who pulls over and hands you a bottle of water, may simply never come. You are not stranded on a busy highway. You are stranded on the skeleton of one. And your body has already started the clock. You just cannot feel it yet. In this heat, the human body needs roughly a gallon of water a day just to sit still and survive. If you are moving, walking, exerting, the National Park Service puts it closer to a gallon for every 2 to 3 hours. Experienced desert hikers use a simpler rule. Turn back when your water hits 60%, not when it hits empty. Because the walk back always costs more than the walk out. You have a half-empty bottle and no plan. Do the math the desert already did. It comes in stages, and each stage steals a little more of you.
Oh my.
First,
Oh.
thirst. Your mouth goes dry. Your
Ooh.
urine darkens. You tell yourself you are fine. Then your heart starts working harder, pushing thinner blood through your body. You get dizzy. Your head pounds. The first edge of nausea rises. Then comes the stage that ends lives, and it is the cruelest one because it does not feel like dying. You stop sweating. Your skin goes dry and hot. Your tongue begins to swell. Your vision
Mm.
blurs. And your
Oh
judgment, the
my.
one tool that could still save you, quietly walks out the door. People in this final stage do things that make no sense. They take off their clothes, which strips away their last protection from the sun. They walk away from shade. They wander.
Take note, guys. This has a lot of survival tips. You should never take your clothing off in the middle of the heat because it's not going to protect your skin. Let's continue.
In circles. The desert has already rewritten their brain by then. They are not making decisions anymore. The heat is making them. This is not a theory. It has names, it has dates. On the 12th of August, 2017, a married couple from Yorba Linda, California, drove out to Amboy Crater. Kathy Barber was 58. Her husband, Jen Miek, was 60. They parked at the trailhead, the same lot where anyone parks, and they started walking toward the volcano around 11 in the morning. The temperature that day reached 113 degrees. At 36 minutes past 1 in the afternoon, Kathy Barber called the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. She had gotten separated from her husband. He had a heart condition, and she could not find him, and she had run out of water. That call is the important part. She got through. Help was dispatched. A deputy responded, then a helicopter. And it did not matter. The air crew found them both about a mile east of the trailhead, roughly 100 yards apart, lying in open desert with no shade. Both were gone before rescue reached them. Sit with what that means.
Wow.
She made the call, the system worked, and the desert still finished the job before help could cross the ground. Your phone is not the safety net you think it is out here. Even when it works, the heat can move faster than the rescue. Barber and Nyaki were not careless tourists in flip-flops. They were a couple on a walk who ran a little short on water on a hot day. That is the whole margin out here. A little short, a little late, a little too far from the car. And that crater has an appetite. In under a single year, that short trail to Amboy Crater claimed roughly 5 lives. 5. On a hike that runs 2.
Have any of you guys ever seen this cradle in person? Leave it in the comment if you have.
2 or 3 hours. One of them was a man in his 60s, found alone on the trail in the late spring of the same period, who had underestimated the heat exactly the way the others had. And then came a story that is hard to shake. In the late spring of 2018, another married couple came to Amboy Crater. Susan Schmurer was 65. Her husband, William, was 64. They were from Williamsburg, Virginia, nearly 3,000 miles away, driving across the country to visit their daughter.
From the East Coast to the West Coast.
They stopped at the crater the way thousands of tourists had before them. Then they walked out into the black lava field, and they did not come back. Nobody noticed for a while. Their car...
Guys, I want to say this really fast. I've heard a lot of different stories about Route 66, the desert, right? Because there's no trees out there. So what you want to do is just drive straight away. Don't stop unless you're going to stop for maybe 3 minutes, jump back in your car and keep it moving, guys. Because it takes a long time, this I do know, for help to come and get you. So beware of that and make sure you always have a full tank of gas. But be wary of places like this. Let's continue.
Car sat in the Amboy Crater trailhead lot for about 10 days before anyone realized something was wrong. 10 days. An empty vehicle baking in the sun while a family across the country waited for a phone call that never came. When searchers finally went in, they found William's body first. He had died of heat exhaustion. The temperatures were so extreme that the search for his wife had to be suspended. Ground heat in those lava fields ran past 160 degrees by mid-morning. The desert would not even let them look. Susan Schmurer was not found for another 10 months. Her remains turned up east of the crater, out toward the ghost town of Amboy. She had been walking. She had left the safety of the trail and the car and struck out across open desert toward a town of 4 people 2 miles away, hoping someone there could help her. She did not make it. And this is the part that matters for you. She did the thing your instinct is screaming at you to do. She walked for help. It is exactly the thing that kills. And rescue out here is not the rescue you imagine. The ground around Amboy Crater is so rough and the heat so severe that during one of these searches, the recovery vehicles themselves broke down in it.
Wow.
A later search flew drones over the lava field for days and found nothing at all. This is a place that defeats the people trying to save you. The same emptiness that strands you is the emptiness that hides you. A human being can lie out here undiscovered for 10 months, a mile from a marked trail, because the desert swallows shape and color and sound and simply keeps its silence. That is the signature of this place. Out here, your vehicle is the last thing keeping you alive. The road took the towns, the road took the water, the road took your signal. Your car is all it left you. The moment you walk away from it, you are running on the desert's clock, and the desert set that clock to zero a long time ago. Now, the desert does not always win. Sometimes a person breaks down out here and lives, and how they live tells you exactly what surviving costs. In late July of 2017, a man named Mick Oman was driving a rough back road in the Arizona desert, a different corner of the same brutal Southwest, when his vehicle broke down in the afternoon heat. He had a half-full water bottle, a couple of beers, a spoiled sandwich, and some crackers. That was it. He did something smart before he did anything desperate. He left handwritten notes on his SUV.
Guys, really take note of this because people barely do this. Leave notes on their car if they have to walk away from it and you get stranded. So, whomever this person was, this is wisdom. Let's continue.
Spelling out his phone number, his home address, and the exact direction he was walking. He made himself findable. Then he set out to look for a signal. He did not find one. He hiked for hours through the wilderness with nothing on the horizon. At one point, he recorded a video message on his phone, a message he prayed no one would ever have to watch, asking whoever found the phone to tell his sisters he loved them.
Oh.
When his water ran out, he drank from creeks. When there were no creeks, he drank his own urine.
Oh,
For more than 48 hours, he stayed alive on almost nothing. On the third morning, he spotted a dirt biker on the horizon and flagged him down, and that stranger drove him out. He survived, barely. And he survived in large part because he left a trail of paper behind him that pointed rescuers in the right direction. He made himself easy to find. Almost nobody does that. They walk off into the heat and leave nothing behind them but a locked, empty car. There is one more thing the survivors know that the victims did not, and it is the cruelest trick this desert plays. The day is not the only danger. Night is.
Because of the temperature
When the sun
drop.
finally drops, the temperature drops with it, hard and fast. The clear desert sky holds no heat. A place that hit 113 at noon can fall toward freezing before dawn. If you survive the day dehydrated and exhausted, the night now works on you from the other direction. Your body, already wrecked, cannot hold its own warmth. And the relief of the cooler air is a lie, because it convinces the people who lasted through the afternoon that the worst is over. The worst is not over. It has only changed shape. The desert runs you hot until it decides to run you cold. So learn from all of them, the ones who died and the one who lived. The rules of this place.
I really love how he did this, the narrator of this content. But it's all true, guys. This is something really to think about. If you have family and friends that uses this route or have to take this route or want to take a road trip, you maybe should show them this video so they can be aware. Always educate yourself before you travel, guys. I don't care if you're going to the next county over in your city. Always educate yourself. Let's continue.
Place are short. Carry far more water than you think you need because your instinct will lowball it and the desert will not. Keep your fuel tank full every.
Guys, I always keep extra bottles of water in the car. Even right now, I have 2 bottles of water in my BMW on the back floor. I usually don't keep it on the floor, but it just kind of rolled on the floor, whatever. But as long as it's in the car, because you just never know. And that's one thing that you need is water if you don't even have food. Let's continue.
Every time, all the way, before you turn onto the old road. Stay with your vehicle. Get into its shadow, but keep your body up off that scorching ground because the surface can run 30 to 50 degrees hotter than the air and it will burn the strength right out of
Very
you.
true.
Use the glass and the mirrors to flash at anything that moves. Do not walk in daylight. And before you ever drive a road like this, tell someone exactly where you are going and exactly when you will be back. Because a car that sits for 10 days is a tragedy, and a car someone is already looking for is a rescue. Because this is the thing about the abandoned stretches of Route 66. The danger is not dramatic. There is no storm, no predator, no villain. The danger is absence, no signal, no shoulder, no traffic, no shade, no water, no town that has not already died. The byway across this part of the Mojave runs about 150 miles through country that looks almost exactly as it did a century ago. And it will let you drive straight into the middle of that emptiness with a smile. And it will not say a word when your engine goes quiet. The desert does not hate you. That is what people get wrong. Hatred would at least be attention. The Mojave does not notice you at all. It kept its own time long before Route 66 was ever paved, and it keeps that time now in the heat coming off the black rock at Amboy Crater, in the white glare of the Bristol Dry Lake, in the silence where a town used to be. You are a passing detail. The road only feels like a promise. It is really just a line someone drew across a place that was never meant to keep you. Which brings us back to that elderly couple, the ones who ran out of gas east of California City in the summer of 2022. His name was Larry Petrie. He was 88 years old, a beloved musician back home in Bakersfield, a man who had played pedal steel guitar for decades and kept a day job with the fire department for 30 years so he could stay close to home, close to Betty, his wife of more than 60 years. In his last weeks, friends had noticed he was getting confused, losing his way to places he had driven 100 times. No one knows for certain why he and Betty ended up.
Guys, look at this. Look at that. This is the road right here. Look at that. And you have nothing but desert on each side. And I think this goes 75 miles, if I'm not mistaken, guys. Do your research on this. But, guys, this is really serious and it's something to think about. And I hope that you've learned something from this and it also gives you survival tips as well. So it's about to end, but I do appreciate you guys and please subscribe and thank you for joining
Ended up
me.
so far out on that dirt road. They only know that the car stopped and the water was gone and the heat came for them both. When they were found on a Sunday afternoon, the scene told the whole story without a single word. Larry was still in the driver's seat where he had waited. Betty was just outside, leaning against the rear tire of the car, a few feet away from the man she had spent her.
Oh, that's really sad, guys. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this live and I'm going to start another live, okay, guys? But really, thank you. And share this with your friends and family, okay? All in Equine Lifestyle. Thank you.